UNLV at New Mexico. VR, we're doing this wise guy style. First, what's your number on the game?
I made New Mexico 2.5-point home favorite, set the total at 132.
Okay, so the VR number, now this number's not out yet, we're taping Tuesday, is where do you see the value coming down on this?
I think the betting value is going to be on New Mexico, the home team here. I think the odds makers are going to bring the number out lower, a lot lower than that. Bottom line, you don't win in New Mexico. Tough place to win. We know that year in and year out. But lately, they're not getting the respect they used to in the pit, you know? And you did an excellent video on that just the other day about home court advantage in college basketball, how huge it is. And I think in this game, it's really going to matter. The thing with UNLV is they're a defensive team more than anything else. But when you look at the contrast between how they play defense at home and how they play on the road, it's huge.
All right, so you just made a statement. Is that an impression, or do you have numbers to back that up?
Numbers to back it up.
Give us the numbers.
Numbers to back it up. You look at UNLV, and overall for the season, they're holding teams to well under 40% field goals.
Overall?
Exactly. When they go on the road, that climbs to about 43%.
Okay.
It does so with the three-point shooting as well, and they allow teams to get to the free throw line a lot more also. So when a defensive club shows me that they have trouble on the road, and now they're going into an arena that's as hard of a place to play as you're going to find, I got to look to the home team. And I think they're going to have some line value here as well, because of the fact New Mexico just doesn't get that respect. Early in the season, UNLV was in top 10 at times.
All right, so let's break down, because ultimately we're trying to gain 2.5, 3 points of edge. We want the line to be off 2.5, 3 points or more, but that's going to be very rare. It's not always going to be the same factor or a single factor that's going to be that 2.5 points of difference. So what I'm hearing you say is there's a general bias against or a bias or an undervaluation of home teams in college basketball, especially the home teams that have a really strong home court advantage. So you're probably seeing some value there. And you think that UNLV is extra susceptible to not playing, having a dichotomy, as they call it, a difference between their home and road performance. All right. Now you're telling me vaguely that New Mexico is a little underrated. Now I'm glancing at your numbers. They've got 10 losses. What is it that makes them underrated in your mind? Why aren't they getting the credit you think they deserve?
They haven't been able to get it done on the road. That's the thing.
So you're saying they have an extreme split too.
Exactly. Here's a team that's 4-7 on the road, and they were 12-1. They lost their last game at home. They're now 12-2 at home. That's a huge split. And I think that's the problem, and that's youth. Here's a team that's young. They're comfortable playing at home. You could see on the road, they're not comfortable at all. So I think it's one of those instances where this is the kind of team I only want to back them when they're at home.
So you got a team that when people look at their overall stats, they're not realizing there's, again, to use the word, a dichotomy, such an extreme one.
Splits. So the splits, just like in baseball, you know.
So you're saying that we got two teams that are especially prone to the splits, and thus you want to play the home team in that case.
Exactly.
Is it
exactly.
Now that's a good case. Is it that simple, or is there anything else?
They played earlier in the season. UNLV was a 9.5-point home favorite.
Okay.
Factor in the home court advantage. That tells me at worst we're looking at a pick'em. I think, if anything, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw UNLV come out as the favorite, being they just won on the road. Where on the flip side, you have New Mexico, who lost at home in their last.
So you're saying, back to one of the square biases, there's going to be an overreaction to recent performance.
Exactly, and I think that's a bad thing for these young college teams. Having to travel now, this is back-to-back road games. They're playing 2 Mountain West road games in a row. I think it's just a great spot for New Mexico, and I'm hoping the odds makers bring this number out where I could back this team.
All right, so give us your prediction ranges where you see value. Where are you playing New Mexico from what to what?
Pick 'em.
All right, so pick 'em or better.
Pick 'em or better
on New
is
Mexico.
definitely worth a play on New Mexico.
Any closing thoughts?
No, I just...
Oh, wait, now I actually got to do my blessing on this one.
Yeah, that's right. You got to rate it. Go
All
ahead.
right, so what I do is either say agree, neutral, or disagree. I'm going to agree on this one, and I'll add 1 point living here in Vegas. I think UNLV is one of these teams, and again, they're going to have their good games. They got a good coach. I feel like they're a little overrated.
Yeah.
I think the runs into the tournament over the last couple years under Kruger has got them back where it feels like, Tark's teams, but they remember Tark's teams. And number two, I think they had such a cupcake schedule early that when you see they're 20-7, you really lose sight of the fact that this team is right around 500 since the conference started. And I mean, a 500 team in their conference isn't super impressive to me.
No, exactly. I agree totally. I agree totally that this UNLV team was overrated at the start of the season, and I still don't think the market's caught up with the fact they're just an 8-5 team in conference.
All right, it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comments section with VR and me. And next up, we're breaking down VR's third midweek game. It's going to be a Thursday game. See you then.